Hey guys, how's it going? Thanks for joining us here. Welcome to our first lesson in how to make apps from beginner to pro. Before we get into everything here, I just wanted to say to you guys that first we're just going to get into some coding. I'm going to teach you guys some of the Swift coding language, and then we're going to get into Xcode and we're going to get into building the apps. Now, I just wanted to say this to you guys because, I could start out the first lesson by showing you guys how to build a really crazy cool app and you guys could follow along with me and do it, but to be honest, you guys aren't really going to learn that much from me. You're just going to be following along with me and you're not really going to understand how anything works, and it's not really going to be of benefit to you. So what we're going to do is the first few lessons, we're just going to learn how to do some coding, how to write some code. I'm going to explain it to you guys in very simple, easy terms. You guys are going to get it really easy. And then we're going to get into the Xcode program. I'm going to show you guys how it works, and we're going to get you building apps in there. I'm going to teach you everything you need to know to go from absolute beginner to absolute pro. We're going to teach you everything in this lesson. So let's get into it, guys. Thanks for watching, and here's the first lesson. Hey guys, welcome to our channel. My name is Michael. I'll be your instructor today. Thanks for joining us. Whether you are building apps just for fun, or whether you want to make apps to go on the App Store to make money off them, or you want to get a job as a developer, whatever your goals are, it's great to have you here with us, and I'm honored to start this journey with you. Super excited. Welcome to our first lesson on how to make apps with Swift and Xcode, and let's get started. So you don't need any experience to be doing these lessons. We're going to start right with the basics, so we'll teach you everything you need to know to get you to building whatever app you want to build. We're going to teach you everything. So first things first, let's go over to the App Store here, and we're just going to want to type in Xcode. Now, Xcode is the platform that we develop our apps on, and Swift is the coding language that we write the code in. So type in Xcode, probably the first one that pops up here, and you're just going to want to click download right here. Now I already have mine downloaded. If you don't have it downloaded yet, just pause the video, download it, and then come back to the video once you've got it ready. So now that we've got Xcode downloaded, what we're going to want to do is we're just going to click on Xcode here, open it up. So over here we just have some, I have some projects I've been working on, or you guys have projects you've been working on over here. And then over here you have a few options. You can get started with a new playground, create a new Xcode project, or clone an existing project. So what we're going to do is we are just going to get started with a new playground. iOS, blank, and just click next. I'm going to name this one as first lesson. There we go. First lesson, and create. Okay. Just gonna open this up. Now let's get started. So here's Xcode. So first thing, I just want you guys to go over to the top here and just click Xcode and go to Preferences. Now click on Fonts and Colors here, and you're going to be able to choose how you like the layout. So probably when you're first downloading Xcode, it probably comes something like this in a white color. I like to do the darker color. I feel like maybe it's better for your eyes, maybe it conserves the battery. I don't know, I just like it. But you can go through all these and they're gonna have different sizes, different colors. Just choose whatever's preferable to you, whatever you would prefer. My favorite is probably Presentation Dark. That's what I use. This one right here, Presentation Dark. But just go through them, find whichever one works best for you, and click on that. So that's how you change the color of your screen. And then over here, this is all your text. You can click on these to change the text and things like that. But the text should be pretty good. I would just go to the theme here and just choose a theme that you like. So Presentation Dark is my go-to. For this, I'm going to just do presentation large dark, just to show you guys how to, or just to make it pop up more on the screen, just to make it a little bit bigger. So exit out of there. So yeah, that was just Xcode, preferences, fonts and colors. So I'm gonna go with presentation large dark right now, just to make it, you know, a bit larger so you guys can see better. So I'm just gonna delete just where it says variable string hello playground. Just gonna backspace that. So this is our playground here. Here's our playground. Over here we have the results sidebar over here. You can extend it, make it as big as you want. So yeah, this is the results sidebar. Here's our playground in here. And down here we have where our prints, when we sometimes certain comments will come in here and print statements, but we're going to go over this one later. So for now, the only thing we're going to do is just playground, and here's your results sidebar. These buttons up here, you can click on this one to get this one to come up here, where our print statements go, which we'll be focusing more on later. You click on this one here. We're going to focus more on this later too. And the results sidebar over here. And then click on this. We're going to focus more. But for now, you can just have all of these ones unclicked on. We don't need any of them. We're just going to work right in our playground. So we're just going to start off with some really, really simple basic code here. So some of the simplest, most basic code you can write is just numbers. So we're just going to start with some numbers. I'm just going to go 1, 35, 7, 5. So I'm just going to click this arrow here to run our code. So when I click it and I run our code pops up over here in the results sidebar. So now if you look at here, there's also a little eye here and some squares. You can click on the squares here and it will show us what we typed. So you can click on the square there, or you can also click on this eyeball here, and the eyeball also shows you what's going to show up. So whatever we type here shows up in our results sidebar, with a couple exceptions. So I'm going to show you guys right now code comments. Now code comments is how you get some, if you want to type something over here but you don't want it to show up in the results sidebar, or you don't want it to show up in your code or your app, you're going to want to use a code comment. Now the reason for code comments and why you might want to use them is you might want to leave notes in your code. If you're working with other developers on the same project, you guys are going to want to leave notes for each other so you know what's going on. Or if you're just working by yourself, it's always good to leave notes just to, you know, just leaving notes just to specify what exactly is going on. So if you come back to your project, say a few months later, you know where all the code is, you know how everything works. It's good to keep it organized. So here's how you do a code comment. Really simple, just 2 front slashes, and that is how you do a code comment. So I'm just gonna write first code comment. So that's how you do a code comment there. So now if we run the code, whatever's on this line, it doesn't show up here. But like if we type anything after it, it will show up, as you see. So that's our first code comment. A second way to do a code comment is 3 front slashes. This is the exact same as the last one. The only difference is it just condenses the text a bit more. Just so if you have a lot of writing you want to do and you want it condensed, you can use the 3. So second code comment, if you look at this one here, it is, the text is slightly more condensed than the top one. That's all it is. Okay, so the third one, and probably one of my favorite ones to do, is the front slash followed by a star. Now when you do this one, everything that you type in between these 2 lines will be a code comment. So this is our third code comment here. So everything we type in here is going to be a code comment, everything between these lines. So those are 3 ways to do code comments. We run the code and you'll see that nothing will show up here. So that's how you do that. So now let's get into some math. So with our numbers, to add is the addition sign, pretty self-explanatory. To subtract, subtraction sign. Now here's where it gets a little bit different. The multiplication is the asterisk or the star, and the division is a front slash. So we can just type in here. I'll show you how to do this. Also with numbers, I forgot to mention, when you're doing numbers for a negative number, of course, you just put the -4, -6. Just put the negative in front, and that's how you do that for negative numbers. Okay, so now we'll get into some more numbers here. So we're gonna go 5 plus 5, 7 minus 10, 5 times 5, 10 divided by 2. So just write some simple equation here. So, and you see 5 plus 5 is 10, 7 minus 10, -3, 5 times 5, 25, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. Pretty simple stuff. So whenever you're doing math here, another thing I want you to know is that multiplication and division always gets ran first before addition and subtraction. So say if I did 5 plus 5 times 5, because multiplication and division are always run first, it's going to run this part first. 5 times 5 is 25, and then it's going to go 25 plus 5 is 30. So when we run this, you're going to see 30. Now if you don't want to run, like if you want to run a certain part first, just like you learned in math class, you just use these parentheses here, or brackets. Now that changes it to 5 plus 5 is 10, 10 times 5 is 50. So you see we have 30 here. Now when we run the code, because we put the parentheses, that's going to be 50. So that's how we do that. So now what I want to show you guys is there's multiple different types of numbers, but the two ones that we're going to use the most are integer and double. Now integer, we just put it right like that, int, and double is the word double, both with a capital first letter. Now I'm going to code comment these out. So integer and double. Now the difference, an integer is a whole number, like 5, 6, 90, 7,894. A double is a decimal number, so 5.55, 33.3, 9.10 billion hundred, whatever. See, those are all doubles. Integer is a whole number. Now, when we're using doubles and integers, I'll show you something here. So say if you do 5 divided by 2. Now we know that 5 divided by 2 is 2.5. But when you're using integers, what's going to happen is 5 divided by 2 is going to equal 2. Because with integers, it just shows you how many whole numbers you have. So 5 divided by 2 is 2.5. So there's only 2 whole numbers. So it'll show 2 whole numbers. Or say 6 divided by 4. We're going to run that. We know that's 1.5, but it shows 1 because there's only one whole number. So that's integers. Now if we change these to doubles, say if I change that first one to a double there, now that 5 divided by 2 is going to equal 2.5. So you're going to use an integer if you just want whole numbers or how many whole numbers you have, and you're going to want to use doubles if you need an exact number down to the decimal, and these doubles will just go on forever like with the decimals if it needs to, like it'll go on for a long time. Maybe not forever, but a long time. So yeah, pretty simple stuff here. Now I'm just going to show you guys something. Say if we do a mistake like 5 divided by 4, you know, when you're writing, you have to do, you know, equal spaces, like say 5 space divided by 5, or 5 divided by 5 with no spaces, but you can't do like no space on one side and a space on the other. So when we do this, we're going to get an error right here. So when we get an error here, I'm going to run this code, but the playground is not going to execute it. So the good thing about Swift is when we have an error, it'll let us know so that we can fix it. So this is a very great thing because we're not going to write a ton of code and then be like, what's wrong? It's going to show us. So it's going to pop up here. It's also going to pop up here. So you can click on the error, and sometimes it'll have it'll tell you what's going on, and then it'll have a fix button. Now it's just going to guess what's maybe wrong with it, and it's going to do its best to fix it. So we click fix here, it's not going to give us the right answer always. So it didn't give us the answer that we wanted here. It just guesses. Sometimes it's right, sometimes it's not. So I'm just going to fix that. And once I fix that, then it's good. So with the warnings and the errors there, whenever you get a red error, you have to fix it before you can execute any more code or do anything. So you've got to fix it. So look at the code there and try to figure out what's going on. So there's two types of errors. It could be a red error, and they also have yellow errors. Now, if it's a red error, it has to be fixed. If it's a yellow error, you have the option of changing it or not. A yellow error will just be a suggestion on how you could do things more efficiently. I'll show you that, and we'll go into that more later. But great job for this lesson. We've learned quite a few things. You guys have learned how to download Xcode onto your computer. You guys have learned how to change the preferences and the theme of your background here. You guys have written some basic code, written some numbers. We've learned about code comments, and we've done some math. We learned a bit about math, and we also learned about integers and doubles. And then we learned about warnings and errors. So it's been great, guys. Thanks for watching. I look forward to seeing you on our next lesson. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and comment down below. And check out some of our other videos. And we're also doing some giveaways. So check out some of our other videos for the giveaways that we're doing. And make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment to be entered in the giveaways. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. Peace.